Welcome friends, and apologies for this 10 minutes. There are two reasons why we have called this press conference. As you well know, several months ago, both Ram and I, in our own respective ways, had exposed this NDTV Chidambaram havala scam. And as you well know, that at that time, some of you may not know, that three people at that time made the whole issue public. One was Mr. Jethmalani, who wrote a letter to Mr. Chidambaram, openly confronting him with the facts of the case. The second person, Mr. Gurumurthy, also came out in the public domain, and the third was Manushi. I had also put the facts, by way of writing, as well as videographed statement of Commissioner Income Tax Sanjay Srivastava, who described how he was being hounded when and after he had exposed the scam, which is a rupees 5,500 crore scam. It's not small peanuts, number one. Number two, when the highest political authority in the land, the finance minister of the country, is involved in havala scams, you can well imagine what's the likely fate of the rest of the havala rackets we are talking about. As you well know, Mr. Jethmalani has spent years in the Supreme Court and outside campaigning that all the loot money from India that has gone abroad has to be brought back. And even though the lists are available, Mr. Jethmalani himself will talk about that. No action is being taken. The lists have not been made public. Mr. Jethmalani has not been supplied those names officially, even though the Supreme Court has ordered that this be done. So this is the background, really. Now, at that time also, of the three people who exposed this scam, I alone, on behalf of Manushi, was served legal notice for defamation and slander. I was asked to apologize by NDTV. I refused, and I said, "You're welcome to sue me. I'm willing to fight it out legally." Once I challenged and I said, "Go ahead, file a defamation suit," they backed out. Nothing happened, and I thought maybe the issue is over. When the new government comes, we will see some action, there will be some inquiry. Thus far, we don't have any news of any inquiry into this havala scam, even though the income tax authorities have actually caught. See, this is not in the realm of allegations. This is not Madhu Kishwar or Mr. Jethmalani making bland allegations, baseless allegations or motivated allegations. This is a case of income tax authorities actually having caught and even imposed penalties on NDTV. Those facts are also available on the Manushi website, manushi.in. You can go see the whole history of that case and how they've been caught, but no action has been taken. In the meantime, in the last throes of the UPA regime, in March 2014, just before UPA lost power, Manushi was served suddenly with an FCRA notice of all the things. Now, the reason I found that FCRA notice by UPA government bizarre, and I suspected it to be part of this vindictive act on account of my campaign against all these scams that UPA government was involved in, is for the following reasons. Number one, Manushi has been, those of you who follow me on social media would know that I've been in the forefront of a campaign, nationwide campaign, to say foreign funded NGOs need to be brought under control, their actions need to be scrutinized, we need to have a truth commission to tell us what kind of politics has been pursued, whether they are FCRA compliant, and what kind of agendas are coming through these foreign funded NGOs. Now, to me it's very strange that the organization that has been in the forefront of saying call foreign funded NGOs to account should be served an FCRA notice. Now it's also worth noting that right at its inception, I was in my early 20s when I founded Manushi, but I think even that time, by God's grace, I had the wisdom to say we will not accept grants from, we will neither apply nor accept grants from international Western donor agencies. Now I said this much before this whole business of the kind of suspicion that's fallen on foreign funded NGOs. At that time, the issue was really low key. But for me, it was a matter really of self-respect. Our problems in this country should be solved by our own resources. We ought not to be acting at the behest of, in order to listen to problems of riot victims in Meerut or landless poor in UP, why should I expect per diem allowances from some foreign donor agencies? Why the Swedes, the Americans, the Brits should be paying me? It's our problems. That was my thinking then. And even though right from day one, within the first month of Manushi's inception or the first issue coming out, Ford Foundation offered Manushi huge grant. I declined. There have been repeated offers from not just Ford but other organizations also. I kept declining. And the only time we applied for FCRA, Manushi, mind you, was founded in 1978, so we are ancient. It's in 2006 that we applied for FCRA because a group of NRI professionals based in Los Angeles, I knew them well because they had invited me to lecture to their group in the US. They sent us a check of $5,000 at that time to support Manushi's work for street vendors and cycle rickshaw pullers. We're working for self-employed urban poor, especially these two groups, policy reform work. This is 17-year-old long engagement. They sent a donation for this. We kept that check and we applied for FCRA. And it's a very interesting story. I had that $5,000 check when the FCRA inspectors came to meet me. This is on the aside. I told them, look, we are applying only because we have this check, and could you please? And I showed them the $5,000 check. Before I knew, the FCRA, these babus who came to sort of inspect whether we were worthy of FCRA clearance or not, they sent us a notice saying, you have illegally acquired $50,000 from whatever without, and therefore an inquiry. I said, that's crazy. We haven't even deposited the check. And the reason they sent me this nasty notice is because they were wanting a bribe to give us FCRA clearance. I didn't. I said, don't give us FCRA clearance, but bribe is not what you get from Manushi. And I wrote a letter. I have it. It's in Murthy Archives, part of Manushi Records. I wrote a letter to the then director FCRA saying they came to ask, they hinted me for a bribe. I didn't, and that's why I've been served this notice. So please make sure that we get honest FCRA clearance on honest grounds. The point of making this, bringing this to your attention, this old story is that A, Manushi is not given to bribing, even if it means getting into trouble. B, that it's with those kind of modest amounts that are FCRA. It was not as if we applied for a grant, neither had since then or after. It's just that some money started coming, ranging from $10 to $100. The maximum that has ever come is $10,000 from a particular group of NRIs, almost all from NRIs. And what is noteworthy about Manushi's accounts is the following. A, from 2006 onwards, when we got the FCRA clearance and people started sending money once we had a website, we put every single donation that came to Manushi on the website. So even if you send 10 rupees or you send 10 lakhs, you will have your name put there along with the money. We also routinely put our audited accounts on the website. The princely sum that has come to Manushi in 8 years, from 2006 to 2014, the sum total we've received is, guess how much? Can anybody guess? Kitna aaya hoga? 31 lakhs. So, it's not as if huge monies are pouring in. 8 years, 31 lakhs through small donations, all listed on the website. And we get this served with this FCRA notice. Given the fact that Home Ministry's own data reveals that no more than 2% of these have been Times of India reports in recent months, that most FCRA recipients, the big culprits, the real culprits, don't even file reports. We also heard how Teesta Setilvad has spent FCRA donations she received on behalf of riot victims, how she was buying wine and jewelry and all the rest. Now, Manushi doesn't have any such Ayashi culture, and in fact most of us don't take salaries. We do Manushi work as labor of love, like I earn my salary from CSDS as a professor, and it's been my vow not to make social work a source of livelihood. Now, I'm giving this not by way of good character certificate, nor is it in my habit to come as a martyr. I'm giving you this background only to say Manushi is the last organization which deserved an FCRA notice, since all of it, A, we've always submitted accounts, B, we've submitted them on time, C, there is not any opaqueness in our accounts. Even you can go and click on the website and get accounts, not just government. So when this came, I thought this was UPA government's last kick at Manushi, and maybe when the new government comes, we will write to them and the matter will be resolved because they have all the accounts already. Instead, when our chartered accountant went and met the FCRA authorities, we were not given any reasons. By the way, there is a Supreme Court order that says that any person against whom a tax inquiry is being initiated, the person, after agreeing to become a party to the inquiry, which is to say after agreeing to cooperate with the inquiry, that person is entitled to know in writing the reasons why the inquiry has been ordered, what it is that's suspected. So, as a rightful due, we said we are more than willing to cooperate with the inquiry, but kindly tell us what's the nature of the complaint, why do you think it's needed, and we will gladly do so. They didn't give the reasons to the CIA. Then I wrote a letter. On May 27th, then I wrote a letter saying, could you please give us reasons why this has been done, citing the legal clauses that entitle me to that information. That didn't happen. That didn't come either. I filed an RTI thinking now at least they will have to, and with the new BJP government in power, at least they will be more transparent. RTI thwarted, no answer. They only reiterated that inquiry has been ordered. 21st to 23rd July, you will have to bring all your records from 2006 onward to 2014 and subject yourself to an inquiry. Now, as I said before, I repeat, I reiterate, we have no problem to anybody inspecting our accounts. We've already put them on the website. So there's nothing opaque about it. However, I have serious problems if the reason for the inquiry, which is my legal due, is not shared with me, and even through an RTI, when I demand, it's not given. I then send another letter. When another notice comes, I send another letter saying, please, I deserve to know. You're not telling me, you're welcome to inspect, but you have to give me reasons. No answer, just another notice. I then filed an RTI appeal, which I'm entitled to do, and simultaneously asked the Home Secretary under whose jurisdiction FCRA falls. I asked the Home Secretary for an appointment so I could present my case, because the law allows me to if I find that the reasons are mala fide, if it's a motivated complaint, I can challenge it legally and ask for the inquiry to be cancelled. Because you well know just as after emergency, Gandhi Peace Foundation, all the Gandhian sanstha's were destroyed by this Kural Commission. They kept them busy. Nothing came out, but for decades they kept them busy in all these inquiries. And that's the kind of harassment I'm not willing to face needlessly. If I'm wrong, kindly hang me, do what you will, but at least give me reasons. They have refused to. Mr. Goswami also didn't give me an appointment, though I sent him details of the case. And all of this, and the fact that no inquiry has yet been ordered into the NDTV scam. We have no other way of explaining this action, and the absence of transparency in the government's own dealing, except to say there is some vindictive action going on. And since there aren't many other crimes I've committed, other than all these exposés against UPA government, it seems there is a connection between harassing us through this. And in this connection, I'd just like to also mention that I had filed, by the way, RTI applications with the Prime Minister's office under Manmohan Singh's regime, as well as with the FCRA authorities, asking an account of all the NGOs, select NGOs that are very active in running certain kinds of political campaigns, deciding new laws, be it laws against domestic violence. They are the ones on Law Commission. I'd asked for their accounts. I was given none. The UPA government said they can't. It's just too much of a bother. So, on the one hand, I'm campaigning against foreign funded NGOs and their domination of our politics. On the other hand, Manushi is targeted for this action without any explanations being offered. So we assume that the previous regime and its means and methods perhaps are still alive and kicking. Otherwise, there's no possible explanation why this should be happening, why our RTI queries are being stonewalled, and why no inquiry into the NDTV havala scam has not taken place. Instead, Manushi is subjected to an inquiry. This is really what I have to say. My colleagues here will be distributing the press statements in a minute. Any questions you have of me or Ram? Ram would, I'm sure, like to add some things.
Can we have Ram sir speak once, please?
And basically, this press conference is intended.
Yeah, please give two documents. One is a 5-pager full story. One is a... Shubhra, do you have them? Okay, yes. Questions, please. Yes, definitely. See, two things. The reinstatement of Sanjay Srivastava, I think, is much called for. His rehabilitation is called for because it's obviously vindictive. It hasn't happened. Should have happened by now. And secondly, a genuine probe into the NDTV scam, especially since the income tax authorities have caught them. And a certain amount is being recovered from them for a certain year. You can get all the details from our website. So when they've been caught, it's not in the realm of allegations. I see no reason why there shouldn't be a high-powered probe into this issue. And instead, as I said, we are being harassed. To my mind, this is, yeah.
Let me just make it clear that it is not my intention to create any kind of a public pressure on the judges. The matter has been admitted, they have stayed this, they will decide this matter, and I have no doubt what the result is going to be. So I am not looking for you people to exert any pressure on the judges.
How recent is this exchange?
It came first in March. Give me a copy of the statement, Prabha. March, it came to us since it was just before elections. We thought it fit not to take up issue, assuming that once a new government comes, we will sort it out. And then May first week, our CA went to see the FCRA authorities and were completely stonewalled. They said they won't share with him the reasons and just reiterated that they were going to. Now, on May 27th, then I wrote my letter as well as filed an RTI on the same day. Instead, on 3rd June, I was served another notice that our accounts would be inspected from 21st to 23rd July. Just reiterating that and just giving me the dates. On June 24th, we got another notice from FCRA wing reiterating that we should bring all our records for inspection on 21st to 23rd July without any mention of my RTI application, and just saying that the answer to your question lies in para 2 of the letter. The para 2 of the letter only reiterates. That's when I filed an appeal on 9th July under the RTI Act 2005 with the CPIO FCRA wing. Thereafter, simultaneously, I sought an appointment with the Home Secretary. When I called them, they said you should send a detailed note to the Home Secretary explaining why do you want to meet him. So I did that, and I stated my case that it seemed mala fide, especially considering I'm not being given the reasons. I haven't received any response. I haven't received a request for an appointment, and never before have I found it so difficult to meet a government official as I'm finding now.
Can I-
It's sure.
Ram, so my question is for you. And what I'm finding I cannot put words to it. Both of you have, like you said yourself, championed for the cause of a better, clean government and governance. And both of you have added your might somewhere in your respective areas of work for this government today to come in place. One would imagine things would be easier.
See, I don't expect any favors from this government. I made it very clear that I did my job. I did my study of Gujarat because I thought too many lies were being told. It was no favor to either BJP or to Narendra Modi, and I expected nothing in return. I mean, this is what I kept on tweeting. Don't think I'm in any queue. Don't think I want anything from them. And I expect no special treatment. But I certainly expect my RTI query to be answered. I certainly don't expect that if parting gift of Chidambaram, if I add if because I don't have any proof, I can only surmise. If this was UPA's gift to Manushi, then the BJP should not be endorsing this gift. They should have some other gift, or if they really feel that the UPA was right in sending us this notice, to me it's an insult for an organization which lists even 10 rupees donation and expenditure on its website. So if they think it's right, they should share with me through my RTI query the reasons why they think where we went wrong.
Because it made an allegation that the corporate finance with the deal, you were victimized is what you're saying. You're saying the victimized.
It may well be that it's connected. Unless I get an answer to my RTI. See, if I don't get an answer to my RTI, and in the meantime, I'm subjected to these soul-destroying queries. As you know, the intent of government authorities, whether it's income tax or FCRA, most of these inquiries are for harassment. Otherwise, they take money and issues are settled. We are not the kind who will ever offer money to settle issues. We're not the kind to want to do anything underhand. And I say it openly, if we've committed any wrong, I'm willing to face punishment. But please tell me what wrong have I committed. If you don't tell me, then I suspect it's vendetta. And the vendetta set into motion by the last government is somehow still going through the machine.
My question to Mr. Jethmalani, he has written a letter that you talked about to the previous finance minister. Do you feel that the letter has been ignored by the present regime, or has some action been initiated?
I have to ask that question only in Parliament. I can't ask it within the party because I am not there. I intend to do it. I have now written to the Prime Minister himself, and as soon as he comes, I hope I'll get some answer. But I assure you that that the apathy is continuing.
See, the inquiry is supposed to start on 21st. The reason we've called this press conference is to let the government know I will not cooperate with the inquiry till such time I get an answer to my RTI query. Because the government must do its duty if it wants citizens to do theirs. It's not a one-way relationship. It cannot be a danda marka sultani farman. The government has to do its job and duty by me, and I'm certainly willing to be accountable to not just the government, but I'm willing to be publicly accountable, which is what we tried to do by putting from 2006 onwards all our accounts on the website. What more could we have done?
Usually, what you call vindictive action would be connected to your criticism of this government?
No, as I said, it's certainly connected to my criticism of the previous government, because the FCRA notice came in March. This government came into power in May. So clearly some vested interests, deeply entrenched in the previous government, continue to have their hold on this government. Otherwise, how do you explain not getting responses to RTI query? Very, very basic, rightful due of any citizen. Tell me, what am I guilty of? Even the worst criminal is not put on trial without a charge sheet being served. And I'm just saying I'm not even a criminal by any account. So kindly tell me where is it? See, they are supposed to, the income tax law as ratified also by a Supreme Court order says that the moment a party to an inquiry is ready to cooperate, you have to tell the person or the organization the reasons for ordering the inquiry so that I can prepare my answer accordingly. And they're not doing that.
And your RTI is essentially asking for these reasons.
Yes, yes, yes. And now I've said it in my last letter. Unless you give me those reasons and then you give me time, they're supposed to give me at least a couple of weeks. After that, I will not offer any cooperation. And I'm willing to face the consequences of civil disobedience because it's my right not to obey unjust orders. The government better do its job, otherwise I'm not obeying this order. जी, हवाला की कहानी ऐसे है, मैं हिंदी में सारी चीज़ बहुत हूँ. हवाला की कहानी ऐसे है कि पिछले साल ये पूरे फैक्ट्स लाइट में आए थे कि कैसे इनकम टैक्स अफसर संजय श्रीवास्तव ने पकड़ा था NDTV और हवाला NDTV और चिदम्बरम जी का मिली भगत से किया हुआ 5,500 करोड़ रुपए का हवाला स्कैम. ये पकड़ा गया. इसके डॉक्यूमेंटेशन सारी इतनी बड़ी, और मेरे पास ये पूरी जब डॉक्यूमेंटेशन आई, अनोनिमस सोर्स से आई थी उस वक्त, पर मैंने पूरी तहकीकात की और पाया कि ये सही है, जो इंक्वायरी भी सही है इनकम टैक्स की और पकड़ा जाना भी सही है. तो उसके बाद मैंने मानुषी वेबसाइट पे वो सारी स्टेटमेंट्स उस इनकम टैक्स ऑफिसर की भी और जो मेरे पास आई थी और मेरा लिखा हुआ भी कि ये तो बहुत बड़ा स्कैम है, इसको इन्वेस्टिगेट होना चाहिए. तो ये तब हुआ था. उसके बाद मुझे लीगल नोटिस NDTV ने भेजा था, राम को नहीं भेजा लीगल नोटिस, गुरुमूर्ति को नहीं भेजा लीगल नोटिस. दोनों ने ही स्टैंड लिया, पर केवल मुझे भेजा सोच के कि मैं डर जाऊंगी. तो मैंने कहा माफ़ी तो नहीं मांगने वाली हूँ क्योंकि सच है, तो इन्वेस्टिगेशन तो होनी होगी. आपने डेफेमेशन सूट फाइल करना है तो कर दीजिए, हम मैदान में आए हैं तैयार लड़ने को. तो आया नहीं, फिर लीगल सूट उन्होंने फाइल नहीं किया. तो हमने सोचा बात आई गई हो गई. फिर एक जब ये FCRA नोटिस आता है मार्च में, तो हमें खटका ज़रूर लगा और हमने सोचा कि इस सरकार की पार्टिंग किक है मधु किश्वर को, तो ठीक है इस सरकार को निपटने दो. तो फिर देखेंगे कि सरकार हमारी कोई गलती है तो हम पूछ लेंगे, और अगर नहीं तो ये किक तो खाने वाले नहीं हैं हम. और इसीलिए जब सरकार UPA की सरकार गई तो तभी मैंने मेरे CA को कहा जाके ज़रा अब पूछा, इनका जाना निहित है, अब पता करो किस वजह से. तो हमने सोचा बड़ी आसान बात है, हमें बता दिया जाएगा. तब से अब तक, मई से, फर्स्ट वीक से अब तक हमें कारण नहीं बताया जा रहा। मेरे सीए गए, उसके बाद वो नोटिस पे नोटिस भेजे जा रहे हैं, और ऐसे धमकियों से तो मैं, एज आई सेड, आई एम विलिंग टू टेक व्हाटएवर कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस फॉर डिफाइंग देयर ऑर्डर, बिकॉज आई थिंक इट्स अनजस्ट टिल सच टाइम एज they answer my question.
Ms. Kishwar, I'm asking you a political question. Everybody knew you as one of 48 case through the books you wrote for him. Plus, you were a critic of the UPA government and also Chidambaram. You say you were victimized for that reason. Now the government has changed. Generally, one would believe that you know it generally happens so that when a party to whom you are sympathetic comes to power, you are benefiting people. You are saying that you've been harassed. So what is happening actually? Are you being harassed because you took on a certain finance minister in the previous government? Why are you being harassed then? I mean, could you be, because it's a political issue in a way.
देखो, मई से अब तक मैं यही सवाल का जवाब ढूंढने की कोशिश कर रही हूँ। मैं नहीं कह रही मुझे कोई फेवर करो, मैं ये नहीं कह रही हूँ क्योंकि मैंने उस वक़्त बीजेपी को डिफेंड किया, नरेंद्र मोदी को डिफेंड किया, मैं बिल्कुल नहीं कह रही कि मेरे लिए कोई फेवर करो, वो मुझे नहीं चाहिए। मैं तो केवल और केवल आरटीआई का जवाब मांग रही हूँ कि भाई मैंने गलती क्या की है ये तो बता दो। इतना भी नहीं बताएंगे तो ऐसी सरकार, चाहे वो यूपीए है या यूपीए का बाप है या एनडीए है या बीजेपी है, तो हम तो नहीं मानने वाले। अब मेरे कुछ समझ नहीं आ रही क्यों है, फ्रॉम वेयर इट कम्स, यू नो, आई एम एज पजल। यस राम,
This young man has a very fair question to ask, which he has asked you. That why is the behavior of the new government resemble the behavior of the previous government? That's the real answer.
there is some
that you want.
continuation.
And it's a matter of good curiosity. You are justifiable curiosity. But I tell you, the answer is very simple. The answer is that bureaucrats don't necessarily change their loyalties quickly until they are thrown out. So bureaucrats persist in their own ways, harass people who the previous government, the employer was harassing. But they must be getting something out of that. That must be to their advantage. Secondly, that the old government has also some friends in the new government who are also trying to be helpful. It's a possibility.
Yeah.
But these possibilities both require to be examined, and don't worry, in a few days things will become clear.
My last question to you, Mr. Jethmalani, you've never known to be so soft-spoken. You're very forceful in your speech always.
मधु का असर है।
Today you appear to be very polite and soft-spoken.
But
Why? Could you
it's
just...
very simple that I have left the stage to her.
No.
She is
The point
bad
is
enough.
she's bad enough. That's right. See, we cannot make larger statements than what we know. I can't say BJP hates me or they are being vindictive. I'm saying I have called this press conference only so that the government knows I'm not cooperating with their unjust order. If they had not threatened me with this harassment, I would have fought it out long. But I know the consequences. What they did to Gandhi Peace Foundation, what the Congress Party, Indira Gandhi did to Gandhi Peace Foundation and other Gandhian institutions after the emergency, simply because they had opposed her during the emergency. They destroyed them all by all these nitpicking inquiries. Next 10 years of my life, I'll be fighting this battle for no reason. So, I don't want to waste my energies. I've already had, by the previous UPA government and its gundas, so many false cases on me. I am still fighting those, simply because of my work for street vendors. I've suffered hugely. But it's not in my nature to come as a martyr. You've never seen me address a press conference, even when I was beaten up, even when I broke my arm from gunda beating of Ajay Makan's gundas, beat me up and nearly killed me. I never came before the press. I don't like playing martyr. I can fight my own battles. But this is now an open challenge to the government that if you give me wrong orders, you're not getting cooperation. ये AK-47 मच्छर मारने के लिए इस्तेमाल नहीं की जाती। अब मोदी जी से कहूँ मैं शिकायत करते रोते रोते जाऊँ, ऐसे मेरी डिग्निटी में वो बात फिट बैठती नहीं है। ना मैंने बताया और ना मैं ऐसी बात बताने के लिए कभी भी राज़ी भी होंगी, क्योंकि उनका काम नहीं है। जिसका काम है उसके साथ मैं डील करूँगी ना। और देखिए, एक प्राइम मिनिस्टर है, उसको मैं कहूँ मुझे तंग कर रहा है, फलां डायरेक्टर ऑफ FCRA किस वजह से उसको निजी कोई खुंदक है, किसी ने पैसे खिला के खुंदक दिलवाई है, कि कोई पॉलिटिकल कारण है, मुझे पता नहीं। मैं प्रधानमंत्री के पास क्यों जाऊं? मैंने अनिल गोस्वामी जी से ज़रूर अपॉइंटमेंट मांगी, क्योंकि रेलेवेंट उन्हीं के अंडर आता है ये। अभी तक अपॉइंटमेंट का जवाब, और देखिए मैं जानबूझ के किसी पॉलिटिशियन के पास इसलिए नहीं गई, मैं इसको पॉलिटिकल कलर भी नहीं देना चाहती हूँ। नहीं तो मैं होम मिनिस्टर से अपॉइंटमेंट मांगती, राजनाथ सिंह से, और मैं कहती जी मैं तो बीजेपी की बड़ी समर्थन, नहीं ऐसा नहीं है, क्योंकि मेरा इशू बेस्ड समर्थन रहा है। कल कुछ इश्यूज़ पे मेरा बीजेपी को समर्थन था, आज कुछ इश्यूज़ पे नहीं है, तो मैं इसको पॉलिटिकल कलर नहीं देना चाहती, इसीलिए मैं किसी पॉलिटिशियन के पास गई नहीं। पीएम छोड़ो। Yes, we won't let. This is one example, but it can't. It's not likely that they are failing on everything, because, for example, I had filed last year RTI queries to the Prime Minister's office, asking how many NGOs had received grants from the PM's relief fund, discretionary grant. I was told this information can't be given. I filed an appeal. Then they gave me a very pitiful small answer. But my third RTI, after Narendra Modi's government, has gotten me at least one clear answer. So the PMO is not being as opaque as it used to be. Manmohan Singh's government had refused to tell me how many crores of discretionary grants they gave to their पालतू NGOs, which they did. बहुतों को बहुत से करोड़ों रुपया दिया.
One final question: do you believe that there are some elements in the present government,
Yes.
who are protecting UPA scams,
Yes.
or being protected towards?
Yes, I think there are elements in the present government who are doing their best to protect the UPA scamsters, and clearly those elements are not likely to look upon favorably on either Ram or me.
मिस्टर जेठमलानी सर, आपने ब्लैक मनी को लेकर जो आपके पूरे एफर्ट को फ्रस्ट्रेट कर रहा है.
Please don't ask me. This is too premature a question, and it requires a great sense of responsibility before I do that, because whatever answer that I give ultimately reflects on my star. I have projected Modi as the exalted planet in Indian horoscope, and you see my reluctance, therefore, to say anything. Wait, Modi is coming tomorrow. I've received a message that he wants to come and see me. Please meet me after some time. Good enough time to get at the truth. हाँ? I have not looked into other departments of action. My main interest in life, the surviving interest now, is the recovery of this black money. But I must say that I am sorely disappointed.
हाँ जी.
मोदी साहब को इस साल मार्च में मिला, ये आता है सीधे पॉपुलिस्टली के अंदर में.
जी. पर फाइनेंस का तो रिश्ता होता ही है. हाँ.
आप इसको उस हवाला और इससे कैसे जोड़ेंगे? हो सकता है उनके पास कुछ देंगे अपनी ग्राउंड.
देखिए, अगर मुझे मेरे RTI की क्वेरी मिल गई होती तो मैं बता सकती थी कि ये जो कंप्लेंट आई है, क्योंकि उस वक़्त मैंने यही एक गुनाह किया था कि बहुत ज़ोरों शोरों से ये स्कैम एक्सपोज किया था, फिर लीगल नोटिस आया, फिर उसके बाद ये आ गया, ये सीक्वेंस में सब कुछ हुआ, तो मुझे लगा ये कनेक्टेड होगा. और चिदम्बरम साहब होम मिनिस्टर भी तो रह चुके थे. वो देखिए, उस टाइम तो मैंने एक्सपोज भी नहीं किया था. मैं ये कह रही हूँ कि अभी मुझे तो गेस्ट वर्क ही करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि मुझे अब बता नहीं रहे मेरा क्या दोष है, तो मैं विंडिक्टिव एक्शन ही सोचूंगी. और क्योंकि मैंने औरों का कोई बहुत भला बुरा ऐसा किया नहीं है, मेरे से कोई किसी की निजी दुश्मनी तो हो नहीं सकती, क्योंकि ऐसा कुछ मेरा हरकतें नहीं निजी दुश्मनी वाली रही. तो ये पॉलिटिकल दुश्मनी है, तो यही कह सकती हूँ. बता दें मुझे, तो मैं आपको बता दूंगी कि वो सही नहीं था, ये कारण है. थैंक यू. प्लीज हैव सम टी बिफोर यू गो.
संडे को